Welcome pioneers! Today we're going to talk about the Hoverpack, an exciting new piece of equipment that came in update 4. It is a milestone here in the hub in tier 7. It's near the end of tier 7 and it gives you extra 3 inventory slots and requires 200 motors, 100 heavy modular frames, 100 computers and 200 Alclad aluminum sheets. So let's provide those materials and send it off. Now that we've got the Hoverpack, that is an equipment item that can be made in the equipment workbench here. And it requires 8 motors, 4 heavy modular frames, 8 computers and 40 Alclad sheets. It just so happens I have one prepared earlier. And here you go, bang, hovering around. It works off the power poles. So not the power lines, as you see. You get a certain distance away. If you look at my left hand where the Hoverpack is, there is 6 indicators that shows the strength of the signal. And it also works off train tracks. So you can actually use the train tracks, provide a solid, consistent signal. And as you can see, as I get further away, it alarms that I'm getting further away, I'm getting closer. And when you're going along power lines, you'll notice that it'll zap over to the one that you're about to get to and then keep working. And you can crouch to lower, and I believe jump is space, I think, to go higher. So it's a great endless connectivity. I'm going to discuss the differences between the electrical power poles. Also the wall connectors, it'll work with that as well. And the train tracks soon, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways you can set it up. But for the moment, this is the Hoverpack now working. It's going to help you with building. It has its pros and cons like any piece of equipment in your inventory. Welcome back pioneers. This is the location where I want to demonstrate the Hoverpack and the difference between power lines and the train tracks for power. You can see in the left of the screen there, the Hoverpack has no power. So I'm going to hook up the Hoverpack to the power line that I've got here and look at it. There I've got power. So as I power over, I'm going to go over to this power pole here. And you can see I made it. I've stayed in the air the whole time. As I progress along here, I've lost power. And to prevent myself from taking damage while I was falling, I pressed the jump button or the up button for the Hoverpack, and that got me running again. So there is the distance and the power is drawn from the power poles. So ways you can work around that are, if you have a power pole at the middle waypoint, you can see here my power drops off and then picks up again. So I can be between, I can hover all the way around this area here. You could also use the wall connectors. These could be underneath the foundation, and you could have the same spacing apart and that will work fine. The power will travel through the foundations. But I have a different method to show you here, and that's using train tracks. So now I have no power, and I'm going to hook up the power line to this train station that I've set up here, and I have power all the way between these locations here without dropping it at all. That's because train tracks provide a constant power. There's no drop between the actual, because there's no train track connector and then a wire or cable and then another train track connector. It's just solid train tracks. So if I have 6 foundations apart, the train tracks, you can see here I'm right in the middle and I'm up quite high, and it works perfectly fine. As I jump across to the next train track, it picks up the power from that one and the next one along the power from that one. You can see I dropped a little bit then, but that's okay because I was close enough. There is a 2 meter gap between the foundations, so I have a sandwich layer here. And you can see that it's very simple to go and set up the train tracks to make this work. If I had another 6 foundations out and run another train track, I would extend my platform all the way across. So how do I have this set up underneath back here? It's very simple, and I'm just going to deconstruct the platform and show you. You can see here, I have a bit of separator piece from the train station because you can't connect multiple junctions to the train station itself. So you can see I have a 3-way going on, one going this way. So we'll have a look here. If I take these out here, you can see the train goes to there, there's a bit of gap and then continues on. So when I did, if I was to do the next one, so here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is where the train track's going to be on this one. Distance here of 3. So in this case, I'm going to bring this and connect it over to where my join is here. And already I'm hover packing away now that I've set it up. And this one's going to go to here. And then bang, I can just keep continuing that way on that way. It's very simple to set up another run that way. And you can see I just put a layer of foundations over the top, and we have unlimited hover pack traveling. So you have to either be above train lines or underneath train lines. The power isn't vertically positive, it's in both directions, up and down, so you can be underneath the train line or underneath the power connectors and have the hover pack power as long as you're within those distances. And as you saw, you need a lot more connectors when you're using the power lines. So if it's power poles or the wall connectors or underneath the floor connectors, you just need to place them all the way around. Or you can use the train tracks, and they seem to be a much more consistent experience for you. And as you can see here, I do have a dedicated train station that's not connected to my train network. So this is always going to consume 50 megawatts to provide this functionality. That's on top of the 100 megawatts your hover pack consumes to get around. That, however, I think is not a huge issue considering the functionality you get from it. All right, folks, thank you very much. I hope you're able to find this of some use, and we look forward to catching up with you soon. Bye.